Have you ever felt like you have been stuck at the same income level month after month, quarter after quarter, despite how hard you work? It's like you cannot break through an income ceiling. I personally have experienced that multiple times. And so today in this episode, we're going to talk through what might be causing you to be stuck at an income ceiling and ways that you can break through it, so that going into 2025, hopefully you're able to grow your business a little bit faster and with a little bit more profitability. You're listening to the Profit and Prosper podcast, the podcast that will help you as a CEO take home a six-figure paycheck and build wealth without sacrificing your life today. So I personally had an income ceiling from probably, honestly, late 2022 through even mid 2024. Despite acquiring another business, I'm going to get a little bit vulnerable here and talk about ways that the acquisition did not go the way that I wanted it to. And I think a lot of it has to do with what I'm going to talk about in this episode about being stuck at a particular level of income and having a comfort level at a particular level of income, and how that will influence you to almost self-sabotage when more money starts coming your way. But late 2022, I remember hitting a high monthly revenue number of $60K. And then for the longest time, we almost could not grow our retainer income, so the monthly recurring revenue. And it was so interesting because it was almost like we'd bring clients on and we'd have clients that we would either let go because they weren't a good fit anymore, and that would bring us right back down. Or we have clients who will sell their businesses sometimes, or decide to take a break, or sometimes even just downgrade to a lower level of service. And I just remember feeling so frustrated by this through 2023, because it was like being on the hamster wheel, right? Of just continuing to make sales, continuing to try to grow the business, and things are just not going the way that I wanted them to go. And the reason I bring up the firm that we acquired, if you have not been around here for a while, we bought another accounting firm in August 2023. And it wasn't as big in terms of volume as my existing business. It was probably 70% of the revenue, I would say, if I had to ballpark. And interestingly, some clients we let go of because they weren't a good fit. And out of the ones that we wanted to keep, we had a lot more who decided to not stay with us after the acquisition for a lot of reasons. We should have structured it differently. We should have had the owner stay on. There are lots and lots of lessons learned. I have a sneaking suspicion that part of the reason why the performance from the business we acquired was not where I wanted it to be, where it could have been based on, paper, based on the plan that we put together, was because of my own discomfort, I guess you could say, at hitting a higher income level. So I think when it comes to being stuck at an income ceiling, I see a lot of clients being stuck at particular revenue levels. I find 10K months are kind of hard to break through the 8 to 10K point. And then again, I see people getting stuck around 50K months, which is what? I can't do math. $500,000 to $600,000 a year in annual revenue. And then I tend to see it again when you get just over the 7-figure level, trying to get from maybe like 1 to 2 million up to mid 7 figures. That's also typically a really hard place, a really hard point for people to get past, because it requires an identity shift. So I think it was episode 107 that came out early 2024. I talked about the identity shift that I had to make in 2023, and how I had an identity that was very rooted in busyness, and how I really had to work hard to let that go, to be able to grow my team, to be able to delegate to my team. And that absolutely held me back from being able to grow my income. But I think it was actually deeper than that. And so that's stuff that I've been working on myself through 2024. So we're going to talk about that today, and how to identify if you are at that income ceiling, if you're stuck, if you have mindset issues, or maybe it's a capacity issue or a strategic issue. We'll talk through each of those. All right, we're going to do something a little bit different today, and that is I want to do a visualization exercise. I want you to visualize yourself at different income levels, and I want you to start paying attention to how it feels in your body. Okay. And the reason I think this is important is because if you notice, I want you to notice the feelings that come up, and that can tell us potentially what could be causing you to have subconscious, limiting beliefs or different things that in your mindset that might be holding you back from taking your business to the next level. So I want you to close your eyes if you're not driving. If you're listening to this and driving, you can either keep your eyes open, obviously, and try to think through it while you're driving, or come back after you're parked and not in a moving vehicle, because obviously I don't want you to get in a wreck. But if you're not driving, then go ahead and I just want you to get in a comfortable seat. I'm actually going to uncross my legs. And whenever I do any sort of visualization, I always like to do one hand, usually my left hand on my heart, right hand on my stomach. And I want you to close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths just to sort of center into your body, into this moment, because I don't want you to be distracted, okay? So a couple deep breaths. So the first thing that I want you to visualize is you sitting down and checking your bank account. You could be on your phone, you could be on your laptop, you could be looking at a statement, just be checking your bank account. And I want you to visualize seeing the amount of money that you are currently making hitting your bank account. So you check your bank statement and you see that amount of money coming in and landing in your bank account. And once you have that picture in your mind, I want you to just do a quick body scan. Remember to keep taking like nice, deep, slow breaths. Start at the top of your head and just scan down your body and notice if you feel any feelings. Whether it's neutral, positive, negative, just notice in your body, where do you feel sensation? Where do you feel any of your feelings coming up? It's really helpful to me to name the feelings, to describe it. So is it heavy? Is it light? Is it moving fast or slow? What color is it? What temperature is it? Just sort of name it in your head and really sit and feel that for a second. Once you've taken note of that, I want you to visualize the same thing. You're checking your bank account, but this time you are going to visualize seeing the next level of income coming into your bank account. So this could be your current revenue goal. It could be the next milestone, whatever it is. I want you to visualize that amount of money hitting your bank account, literally with all the zeros, all the commas, whatever it is. And do the same thing. Notice how you feel. So body scan from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Notice where you feel a sensation and name it, describe it. Just sit with this for a second. So once you've had a chance to name, describe the feeling that you feel, you can kind of wiggle your fingers. That was good for me just to sort of settle into recording a podcast also. So you can pause this. I want you to write down what you noticed. Write down the feelings that you felt when you visualize your current income level. And I want you to write down the feelings that you felt when you visualize your next income level. And I want you to just notice, do you see a pattern? Were you expecting to feel the way that you felt when you looked at those different numbers hitting your bank account? Were you surprised by what you felt? Just notice what you're feeling. So the reason that I think this is really helpful is I want you to identify some of the subconscious mindset blocks that you maybe aren't even aware of having. And so you could have a mindset block around your current income level. So if you were feeling positive or neutral, I would say that's great. You might be feeling negative about your current income level. There could be shame. There could be frustration. There could be annoyance. I think it's important to acknowledge that and dig into where that's coming from, because I'm a big believer in being appreciative of what you have now, obviously practicing gratitude. But I think when you're trying to grow your business or grow your money from a place of lack, of scarcity, of frustration or fear, all you're going to do is get more of that down the road. So you could be having some feelings about your current income level, right? And it's totally fine. It's completely normal. Just again, acknowledge that that's happening. You could also have feelings, and this is probably with almost everybody listening to this right now. You could also have feelings about your future income level. So notice, do you have fear? Do you have doubt? Do you have anxiety? Are you lacking the confidence? Are you questioning your ability to actually do that and sustain it? And if you have fear about that future income level, then of course that is going to show up in the way that you show up in your business. It's going to show up in your marketing. It's going to be this subconscious sort of energy that you have if you're producing content or having sales calls with people. If you're showing up with that fear of, okay, what if I do make more money? What does that mean for me? Then you're going to be pushing it away without realizing that you're pushing it away. So I would say there's probably 3 different things that could be causing you to hit the income ceiling. One is the mindset. I think that that's probably pervasive to every single person, is having some kind of block around one or both of your income levels. The second would be capacity. Literally, do you have the capacity currently within you, your time, within your team, within your systems, to be able to sustain a higher level of revenue? So sometimes I like to ask the question, if you were to 5x or 10x the number of leads that you have coming to you tomorrow, right? Let's say you normally have 2 leads a month. What if you had 10 people send you an email tomorrow and say, I'm ready to hire you? What would you do? Would you be able to sustain it, or would you be drowning in work? Would you have to turn people away? And so if you want to 10x your revenue, but you're not able to sustain that level, then again, that's going to cause mindset issues, because you're going to push them away because of fear of knowing how much of a pain it's going to be to have that level of revenue. But just also from the perspective of your team and your systems, you're not going to be able to sustain it. And so, of course, clients would be unhappy. They might leave. You might have to turn people away. And so acknowledging if there's things that would need to be fixed throughout your business from top to bottom, from your initial lead gen, marketing, sales, delivery, finance, all of it. Do you have the capacity to 5 or 10x your revenue levels? And if not, there's something for you to work on. When we think about capacity, I also want you to look at your capacity. So your time and your energetic capacity. If there are things that you need to let go of from your calendar, from the way that you're spending your time, the things that you're putting your energy into, this is the place to do it, because the more that you put energy into other things that are not in alignment with that higher level of income you want to get to, the longer it's going to take you to get there. I'd also say having to do with energetic capacity also, I think, impacts your marketing. And so I see a lot of business owners, if you have low energy, it is really hard to show up and market consistently. But if you're not marketing consistently and not consistently bringing leads in the door, you're not only going to not be able to grow your business, but you might even have a hard time sustaining the current level that you're at, because you're not going to have income coming in if you are not showing up consistently. And so again, I think that comes back to 1, having a plan, but 2, you as the CEO of your business having the capacity to keep doing that. Because I personally view my job as the CEO of my business first and foremost to be the rainmaker. Basically, I'm the one who's making sales. And if I'm not making sales, the business is literally not going to make it. And I think that your business is only going to be able to grow as high as you take yourself personally. Okay, and the third misalignment that you might have is in your strategy. And I see this one all the time. So people saying, I want to grow my business from 0 to 6 figures, from 6 to 7, from 7 to 8, but they have no comprehension of what it's going to take to actually get there, and no real plan or strategy or both to figure out what level of sales you're going to make. What are your offers going to look like? What's your pricing going to look like? What's your team and your capacity and your systems and all of it? Having that big picture business model, business strategy that is going to sustain you, take you to that level and then be able to sustain it and be profitable, I think is missing from a lot of people. I also see a lot of business owners thinking that what got you to your current revenue level is going to be the thing that takes you to the next revenue level. If you've ever read the book 10X, 10X is easier than 2X. I actually did a podcast episode talking about 10X is easier than 2X, or how to 10X your business in early 2024. Forgetting what year it is, y'all. You have to let go of this idea that you just have to keep doing more of what got you to your current income level. Because I'm going to tell you, having a business that's doing 100K in revenue, the things that you are doing as the CEO and probably also the primary doer in your business are very, very different from the things that I'm doing, having 7 figures hitting my income level, right? Having a 7-figure income level. The things that you have to do are very different. And so the more that you keep doing what got you to where you are, the longer you're going to stay stuck at that income level. The last question is, what do you take away from this? How do you break through your current income ceiling? I think number 1, I would focus heavily on the mindset stuff. So revisiting the visualization, really digging into, where do I feel a limiting belief? Where does that come from? Asking yourself, what voice is in your head? Where did you learn this? And how can you process it? I've been going to therapy lately, y'all. And so I'm going to do a quick plug for if you're finding that things come up like me with parents, with school experiences, with relationships. Sometimes I find that the voice in my head that's causing the fear or the doubt isn't actually me, it's what I am taking on from other people in my life and other experiences in my life. And so that's where it's really helpful, I think, to go to therapy sometimes and talk about these things. Focusing on your mindset, processing those feelings before you begin to reframe. I think that's something that is hard for a lot of us to do, but just acknowledging that those things are very normal. Once you're able to process them, then reframing that, okay, into this is not serving me anymore. I'm going to focus on shifting to a mindset into some thoughts and beliefs that do serve me, that will take me to the next revenue level. So number one, I think mindset is really important for everybody. Two would be look at your capacity. So sit down and audit, like literally ask yourself the question, if I had 10 times the leads hitting my inbox tomorrow, what would I do? What would break? And fix those things. And so that's where I think it's really helpful to have, offers that are scalable and a plan for team that will help you to deliver those offers at a higher level. And then of course, a marketing process. So what would break down if you had 10x leads? How you can kind of know going into 2025, these are maybe some things that I want to take the time to improve or streamline so that I can take things to the next level. I will do a quick plug here actually for my sales plan and pricing tool, because I think that when it comes to understanding your capacity, you want to make sure that you understand the number of offers that you need to sell, the number of clients that you need to sell to get to your next level. And so that is a free tool that'll help you, one, calculate your revenue goal, map out a sales plan and a pricing plan in order to say, like, this is the breakdown of what needs to happen to get me to this level. And then from there, there's also a budgeting spreadsheet tab in there too. From there, what does the team capacity look like? What other things do I need to spend my money on? And that can help you just plan out that capacity. So we'll put the link to that in the description. And then also, before I move on to number 3, don't forget to let go of things. So if there's anything that you're spending time and energy on that you find after you do your audit, let go of those things. Even if it's scary to let go of clients, team members, meetings, marketing channels, whatever it is that's not serving you, the more you let go of those things that aren't working, that aren't in alignment with your higher level identity, the faster you're going to get there. And then of course, you want to adjust your overall strategy. So thinking about the next revenue level, like what does that business look like? What does it look like from offers to pricing to delivery, all of it, and making sure you have a big picture strategy to help you do that. Potentially thinking about what does it look like for you to have a higher level of visibility. Maybe you need to level up your messaging to be able to draw in that higher level of client. And then just commit to doing one thing. So take the next step. Don't think that you're going to implement all of this at once. Just identify what's the most important thing, what's the most impactful thing that I could do to get me on the path toward breaking through that income level. Keep knocking those away, like keep working on the next project, keep taking baby steps, and you will get there. Absolutely. You could get there in 6 to 12 months if you just commit to taking incremental actions. So if your goal is to grow your business past your current income level in 2025, then I'm going to encourage you to go sign up for my email list, because I have been sending out the 12 days of business growth. This is something that I think is really fun. And so we're already on day 4, but when you sign up, you will get the past emails sent out. But every day for 12 days, I am releasing a lesson, an email lesson on one of the pieces in my business growth framework, with tangible takeaways and action items for you to take every day. I'm also, which I think is also really fun, I'm releasing some brand new offers. So every day for those 12 days, I'm going to be releasing an exclusive 24 hours only offer, including some brand new one-on-one options, brand new tools, and pulling some things out of the vault. So make sure you go sign up for that at sarahhyoung.com/12 days. All right, that's it for today, y'all. I hope that you enjoyed this little visualization exercise talking about mindset. Stay tuned for the next 2 episodes on the podcast, because we're going to keep talking about some mindset shifts that you need to make if you want to make 2025 not just the best year ever in business, but the year that you look back on as the one that turned you into a millionaire CEO. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next time.